This is part 11, plant-based Azalea Healer from the Hood. And I'm going to go tell you, just get into some of the stories. Like and subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just started on here not too long ago again. So I'm going to tell you, get right into the stories. The Food Mill was a phenomenal place in Oakland, California, who really supported me in what I was doing. And then I started first next door to them and got a place. And remember, my first client, I had left the Acupressure Institute, which was phenomenal. It was a small group of people that taught us Chinese medicine, emotional releasing, how acupressure releases emotions. Phenomenal. People were all from all around the world, and I was the only woman of color at that time. It was so enjoyable. One of the best schools ever that I went to. And so then I started next door to the Food Mill, and they were like family to me, an Italian family that had been there forever, over 90 years now. And my first client was Cedric Dunn and Karen Mims. And Cedric had brought in his little baby, and his little baby was screaming with an ear infection constantly. And I want to make noted that everybody knew that I was not a physician or a medical doctor. I made it have everybody sign that they know that. I have every client sign that. I have every client sign that I do not cure, or that God does that. And they're signing as an ecclesiastical member, which means that they know that we're doing God's medicine. Okay, everybody. Okay, I want to make that clear for the record. Okay, so had him sign. I met Cedric. He became my best friend for years. He brought his baby in screaming and hollering. I did ear candling on the baby. And I did ear candling on each side. An ear candle is what the ancient Egyptians used to do, laying the person on the side, putting the ear candle. It's very relaxing. You make sure the fire on the top doesn't go on the person. You cover them. And then the baby stopped crying. And he said the baby was able to go ahead and sleep and everything, you know. So that was beautiful. And we became best friends. And I worked with him and on him for preventive care for years, like 20 years after that. Karen Mims came in with chronic fatigue syndrome, which is a chronic immune deficiency, and I worked on her for years as preventive, and we had became very good friends. So those were the first two people that I started with, which was awesome. Spent a lot of time with them, teaching them. Basically what I do is I usually, in the first session, I spend about 2 hours with you, and I do the iridology, which is the study of the iris. There's nothing demonic. It's all based on science. I want to make that very clear. The left eye represents the left side of the body, the right eye, the right side. And then I'll look at your tongue, and then I'll do some muscle testing. Everybody's different. I might do some acupressure, cupping, emotional releasing, putting together a natural foods plan, put you on a detox, that type of thing, and talk with your doctor, working with your doctor, seeing what they have you on and different things, and talking with them and telling them what I have you on and that type of stuff, if that's what you choose. Okay, so I also have a story that is amazing. There was a lady who came in and she could not walk. She was in a wheelchair. She was young, probably about 30 years old. And this was the most amazing thing. I use aromatherapy. Either make my own, because it takes 1,000 roses to make 1 drop of rose, or I use Young Living oils. To me, they're the best oils I've ever used in my life, because they make it that way and they make sure they're pure. So I did something called raindrop therapy on this lady. I did all the other stuff, and she came to me for 6 months. Now remember, she couldn't walk, and so I did the raindrop therapy. Look it up, on her spine, because the spine holds all of the different organs in, just like the feet. Okay, the body's in whole. That's why it's holistic, whole. You're dealing with the whole person. So I did this on her for 6 months, put her on a Living Foods, a vegan diet where it was all live foods for 6 months. And I'll never forget this. She was laying, I turned her over to rest after the raindrop therapy, and her legs lifted up like this, and she started moving her legs like this. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. She started moving her legs like this and sweating, and she did that for an hour. And she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And she was crying and moving her legs and crying and moving her legs. The oils in Raindrop Therapy help remove emotional trauma because it goes into the body in 60 seconds. The more I learn, the more I realize we don't know, right? And I see why the ancient people use them on a daily basis. So she started moving her legs. And remember, she couldn't walk. She couldn't use her legs before. So it was an amazing thing. Afterwards, she was able to walk. Okay, that was the most amazing story that I have seen, I think, in my 20-something years of doing God's medicine. That was the most amazing thing. And I wish that was so long ago we didn't have the videos and stuff like we have now, because I surely would have taped that with her permission. But she was crying, and she told me that she used to dance, I guess modern dance, ballet dance, and all of that. She was a professional dancer, and that, you know, there was something traumatic had happened to her, and that's when she was in the wheelchair. I mean, I was a believer in Young Living Oils, or in God's oils, the real ones, the real natural kind. And that's very much so why I always use everything fresh from the ground, or freshly made, as much as possible. The fruit, everything, the vegetables, everything, the herbs, everything, because we want to get it at its highest frequency. We're frequency. Everything is frequency. And so that was an amazing story. I'm going to tell you some other stories of people that I had in dealing with Healer from the Hood. It's a lot. The book is more detailed. I'm just giving you little bits. The book I will try to have out by April 2025. But this is Azalea, Healer from the Hood. These are my stories, my true stories. Until next time, like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.